All right, get ready to invest in Joe Biden's radical green agenda, whether or not you like it or not. The president's very first veto, blocking a bill that would have protected 401ks from a woke agenda and stopped retirement plan managers from considering things like climate change when they make investment decisions instead of profit. Biden claims it's all about the MAGA Republicans. It's their fault.
I just signed this veto because the legislation passed by the Congress would put at risk the retirement savings of individuals across the country. They couldn't take into consideration investments that wouldn't be impacted by climate, impacted by overpaying executives, and that's why I decided to veto it. It makes sense to veto it.
Does he have a grandchild sleeping next door? Why is he whispering? Is someone golfing and playing through? And while we're on the subject of climate change, looks like liberals are moving the goalpost again on doomsday. A UN panel says that the world has less than a decade to stop catastrophic warming. All right, but wait, Al Gore and John Kerry already told us we should be toast by now.
There is a 75% chance that the entire North Polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years.
You have sea ice, which is melting at a rate that the Arctic Ocean now increasingly is exposed. In 5 years, scientists predict we will have the first ice-free Arctic summer.
Okay, how'd that go? All right, so I guess the president feels good about his veto, Dana Perino. Should he feel good about it? Because his left wing must be loving it because he rests as a Green president. Didn't matter that Manchin and Tester both voted with Republicans on this.
No, this was actually a bipartisan effort, and I thought that that's what he wanted.
Right.
He wanted to see Republicans and Democrats work together. They did work together. They decided that ESG was not what they wanted. So it's a bipartisan issue that he went against. And also, how does this square with what the president did last week when he approved the Willow Project in Alaska?
He's
so
all over the place.
that doesn't quite square. And besides, the consequences of going too green too fast are obvious in Europe. Since the war in Ukraine, what's happened? They've had to figure out a way to beg, borrow, and steal in order to get traditional energy resources because they didn't have enough. So shouldn't that be a warning to us that we should know that? And when you talk about Medicare for all, say, does everybody want Medicare for all? 90% of people say yes. But you say, oh, it's going to cost you X, Y, and Z to get it. They're like, actually, I don't want that. That's the same with this ESG. If you hear, oh, it's for environment and social justice and governance, you're like, oh, that sounds really good. Oh, but did you know that it's going to increase the cost of your food? Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I'm not for that. So that's what these legislators are doing across the states, and now they try to do it in Congress, and then Biden vetoed it.
So Jesse, this is a little disappointing, but not surprising.
Not surprising. He had to do it because he needs the left. But think about how much help the green agenda needs. You need subsidies. You need loan guarantees. Look at Tesla. You need corporate welfare. You need tax rebates. Look at the Inflation Reduction Act. That was $1 trillion for the Green New Deal. Right. And not only that, you need child labor. You need the Chinese market. And then you need wind. And then you need solar. You need sun. All of this stuff goes to propping up the Green New Deal. And it's still not as profitable as traditional energy. So what does Biden do? Biden basically creates a government rule that tells these investment managers, hey, guys, you might need to steer the pensions over here into the green stuff because, again, they're not as profitable as everything else. So if you're a teacher and you have a pension and the government's invested, go here and you say, you know what? You're not going to get a 10% return. You're going to get a 5% return, but you're going to feel a lot better about it.
You know, Jessica, as people look at do their taxes and look at what how much they lost last year, a lot of people say, you know what, I don't feel as good about maybe my green agenda and the investment. Maybe I got to be a little bit more Machiavellian when it comes to what I invest in. Do you feel that way, that the green agenda should have been isolated? This was a chance for the president to escape?
No, I think that this is a bit of an overreaction to what went on. So I read the president's statement on this, and he said, retirement plan fiduciaries should be able to consider any factor that maximizes financial returns for retirees across the country. That should be non-controversial. That's common sense. And that does feel like common sense to me. He's not forcing people into ESG ventures, which, by the way, if we return to last week, Jesse, when we talked about it, financial scions like Steve Schwarzman are very into ESG investing. Has made it a pillar of what goes on at Blackstone. Remember, and you said, I'm going to go with Steve Schwarzman on this.
Well,
and it's on tape.
ExxonMobil gets a great rating for ESG, and they're a fossil fuel company, so go figure.
Fine, but President Biden took back, he said, I won't drill on public lands. And then people said, actually, you need to be able to do that. And so he did it. And he did the Willow Project. It's going to create 2,500 jobs. And this is a person who is using common sense about this. And to say, if you need to show proof that people's retirements are being wiped out because of investing in climate projects
or less
before,
than maximized, would
right?
you say?
Yes, but there's no proof of that yet. He's just saying let financial managers do their job. If they see a good investment in something that's related to the environment or social justice, big whoop, make people money off of it.
Silicon Valley Bank took a bath because they went green.
That's not true. And that talking point has basically disappeared because now we've seen that there's a huge problem across the entire banking sector. And it's not because they had someone who made a TikTok video on their board.
No, they had a lot of woke investments.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of this. This is all about woke policy. And people insisting that they should be able to get involved in woke policy. That's what Joe Biden wants. He wants green energy. He wants to work with China so we get all of our lithium batteries from China, and China can start all these coal-producing plants to create the lithium, and that what we should be able to do is do everything we can so that they can make money. Somebody is making money at the end of this.
Right.
And my concern is that it's not the American investor. But the amazing part of this is that you've got them saying, look, the world is coming to an end, and therefore we need to invest because we're going to die. Everybody threatens it. The latest is Greta Thunberg. She's some genius. We're all still here. AOC, weren't we supposed to be gone in a couple of years?
Yeah.
I mean,
what
this
about
is
the drought in California?
This is
It's
fear.
over.
This is fear that they're creating, and somebody's making money off it.
Right.
Okay? When we were self-sufficient, and let me tell you, I got to add one more thing. The Navy Secretary, as the Biden administration is proposing shrinking the submarine fleet level, the Navy Secretary says, look, my fighting climate change is a top priority for the Navy. Are you kidding me?
He should be fired.
He should be fired, but they're all woke crazy.
It's nuts. Can I just say, we should end the way we started. Republicans have not made your argument. Republicans have not said, okay, you want to do things green responsible, but let me tell you where we get the rare earth from. Let me tell you who we're going to be dependent on. Let me just tell you about the oil and gas companies that are the backbone of this country, what's going to happen to them if they die in the vine. We're going to buy them from other people instead of producing our own.
Yeah. I would like to give the audience one Google assignment or a research assignment, maybe Jessica too, just kidding. But the Wall Street Journal had this big piece last week, and it was called ESG Profitable, The Numbers Don't Lie, Benchmarks, Analytics, and it basically shows that they strongly underperform. So
there you go.
But that's the Wall Street Journal, not me.
I'm giving my 401k to Dana Perino.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.